that if he was put in the same room with J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, Jay-Z, Eminem, he would not back down. That's what he said. He said, "You know what? I would never back down. I wouldn't back down. I would be putting out my best fight, and they would feel my heat. They would feel my wrath." And I feel like, man, telling the truth, man, Narciss's music really does compete. Oh yes, another weekend is upon us. Welcome to everyone that is new to the podcast. It is actually a weird way to welcome you if you're the one that is new and you're here for the first time. You're probably like, wait, we just started, and what is this super hype and everything? But yeah, let me give you a setting of where I am right now. I'm currently seated on my chair. I have this big yogurt can that we normally use for multiple things. From your household, you buy this yogurt, and now you find that maybe it's carrying something else, and it's maybe used as a container for sugar or whatever that ends up being used or it ends up being used for. But in my case, it's being used as like the thing that's gonna hold this phone, because I record from my phone. And hopefully we'll get to that level where we are now using a microphone. But without your support, we won't get there. So please make sure that you follow the podcast. Please make sure that you rate it a 5 out of a 5, because I'm certain at the end of it you'll feel like it's deserving that 5 out of 5. And shout out to everyone that is a returning listener, man. I am so grateful for all of you guys that have come together here, and you've decided to meet with us today. It's a really amazing moment. It's amazing. I'm really glad. There's a lot that we've learned in the past week. We had so many beautiful shows that were on, especially that necessary interview with L-Tido. One of my favorite. And I just want to say, before I dive into deep to that interview and be specific with that interview, I just want to say, L-Tido, man, beautiful guy. And this podcast that he's doing is a breath of fresh air. Like, we have so many podcasts that are trying to get onto the wave of I need to put out content out there that's gonna ride the wave. Like, I need to be controversial, I need to be battling the storm and anything like that. But with them, it's like you're just chilling, you're getting to know about the people, you're really getting to know about them emotionally, who they are off air. And I don't know, something about me tells me that L-Tido is that guy that we lost through Ricky Rick, right? The guy who's just really chilled with those people. He knows those people, it's people he hangs out with. So when they talk, they're really comfortable, they're really at a space where they feel like they can share, without them feeling like the next day it might be twisted and get it and gotten out of content and out of context. And it's amazing. And I feel like he's not getting that recognition to say, what, L-Tido is doing an amazing job, and we really are thankful for him to actually come and put up this this whole platform where we get to know with these people. If you've listened to the Nasty C interview, which had the whole country buzzing right now. I know it's not a controversial one, but people always take it out of context, especially because he spoke about A-Reece and how A-Reece disrespected him. So the chat was Nasty C had this tour, or he had this show where he booked A-Reece to come and perform because he wanted to squash the beef that they had, which he says is not an actual beef, because it doesn't even have a starting period or a starting window, or that motive or anything that just marked the first step of it. This is how it's gonna be, this is how it started, so and so said what, this is what I'm mad about. He says he doesn't know what happened. And if you have watched A-Reece interview before with Pearl Tusi, he said that he it was all orchestrated by the label Ambitious Entertainment, which is not really something that is new, because we know Ambitious Entertainment, they really did a lot. I think they at some point they even made their competition to be between A-Reece and Kid Tini. I don't know what happened to Kid Tini, but he was an amazing artist as well. Like, he was really good with the pen and all of those things. But that's not about him right now. We're not talking about Kid Tini. So he says, he doesn't know where it starts, and from someone else, A-Reece, he says it was just like something that was orchestrated by Ambitions Entertainment to actually make them, like to actually like draw traction. This is something that was said in an interview, because a lot of people are gonna say, oh, okay, this is something you're making up. It was something that A-Reece said himself in an interview, and that's why I watch these things. Like, I sit down and I digest them, so that I have facts and what I'm talking about. So yeah, and then he's like, even in person, this is necessary now. Even in person, when they meet, there's no beef, there's nothing. So he tried to make amends, even though he didn't know what started it. He tried to be the bigger person, to say, you know what, A-Reece, I think you're cool, I think you're amazing. We're just two youngsters that are really good. They have this, this whole rap career in SA that can be shaped for the better good. Why not come join me? Let's rock this show together. And he says what happened was that A-Reece, decided to pull up late, so he didn't come on time. And then when he came on time, he requested that may he be the last one, having the slot of a closing of the show, which to Nasty C, he says it came across as really disrespectful, because it was his show. He's supposed to be the one that actually closes it, which is true, because now you have to also give the remarks. You have to put out that lead, that lead performance, because they came for you. Literally, you're the whole show. It's your show. The fans are the Iversons. They came for you, and they didn't really like come for all the other acts that you've booked. But it's good to warm up the dance floor. To warm up the air and everything like that. But yeah, he feels like from that point, like it was like, it's really just like, that's it. I've had enough. I tried to make amends. I tried, even though I don't know what's happening or how it started or anything like that. Which for me, I feel like he's a bigger person, because it really did start with Ambitious. We can't pinpoint it on A-Reece. It really did start on, an A-Reece's camp through Ambitious Entertainment. So now it's crazy, because now this dude is really trying to make amends, but he gets disrespected in the moment. But yeah, he says that's the problem, and he got to a point where he's like, okay, it's fine, I'm never gonna try and make amends again. And it really has me scratching my head, as I also am watching TikTok, and I realize that there's a TikToker that speculates that Raquel Jones is the one that's holding A-Reece back. And why am I scratching my head and thinking about that? Is because if you look at the Wrecking Crew, if you look at everyone that has fallen out with A-Reece, they all are like, okay, I'm done, that's it. I tried my best. The people from the West that really needed to have features with A-Reece, they're like, okay, I'm done, that's it. And now I'm thinking, is really A-Reece getting really like betrayed, or is it something? Perhaps this TikToker might have something, and I have to really say perhaps this TikToker, because these are not my words, and I'm really not trying to catch any smoke from Raquel Jones or from A-Reece. But it's really tricky, because this guy had a window in his period where Shane Eagle, A-Reece, and all other people, that I don't know for exactly, that really tried to build a friendship with him. I remember, and he went and he dissed them in that cipher. That's okay, that's hip hop, right? But Necessity would dispute that, because he says at the end of the day, they are human beings as well. They have feelings. When we meet, I can't really just like separate something like where you're saying my mama is like this, and then now you want us to be cool because it's just hip hop. You can't really like diss my mama and then say like it's just hip hop. Then if you're doing that, then it's smoke, man. Like, come on, let's talk. Let's hear what the problem is. But yeah, man, like, beyond that cipher, they came back. They were like, they followed him on Instagram, I remember, and they tried to build, a friendship with him. And mind you, Shane Eagle at that time was really a good and huge artist. Everyone was really messing with him in SA. I think Shane Eagle is really an amazing rapper. I think his target market though hasn't clicked yet. And I also feel like he is at a point whereby he's just gonna really like amass, or just like really like take the international, kind of like market, because the people that are outside, they know J. Cole, they know his flows, they really like the pen that Shane Eagle actually has, right? And yeah, but these people really try to make friendship, and we had this one person that really like sitted it out, mash beats. And we had words recently who was like dissed and say that he's how is he saying that he's outside and he's not making any gigs, he's not being booked and anything like that. That's A-Reece. He said it in his verse, as it has been speculated and it has been circulated around that it was about words and all of those things. But now you realize that all the people are moving away, and one person is standing, and now people are saying the common denominator is Rickle Jones, who's really holding A-Reece back. Are we having a situation of Kanye West? Are we having a situation of Travis, and now it's like Travis Scott, and now it's like, is that is that what's happening to our black brothers when they get out there? But it's really like it really baffles me, because even now we can't even say it's black brothers, because we also have this whole thing like even in white people, like we're having Justin Bieber, the same thing with Hailey Bieber. There's a lot of speculation that's going around, swimming around, that she's trying to now get a hold of all the assets, and control all of those assets, and just really like have Bieber to to herself, like. And it's a really I think painful position to be in, because these people don't even realize it, like they don't see it when they're going through it. But if this TikToker is right, then man, a lot that A-Reece has to to undo to actually rebuild that friendship and all of those things. But coming from Nasty C, man, Nasty C has really grown, like he has really matured. If you listen to his music is good, it's beautiful. And I also liked the interview that he had with L-Tido, because I felt like I knew the Nasty C that he is. Like I knew the guy, I knew, I just knew then Siga Yenkosi. I think is he? I think yeah, Siga Yenkosi should be his real name. I really feel like Siga Yensizwe, yeah, Siga Yensizwe is his real name. I really felt like I got to actually like know Siga Yensizwe, David Jr. Ngobo, and and the hilarious person that he is, the funny person that he is. And he also really did come out and apologize to the Zambian fan that he unfortunately got into, a confrontational kind of like fist fight, with, and he says he was startled, like he couldn't see what was going on. The guy just popped up in front of him, and that he was performing an emotional song, which was really like he was really in his emotions. And if you're having a song whereby you're singing about AKA, and then you remember that AKA, they just pulled up on him, right? They didn't put any notice, they just pulled up on him and they put a gun on his head. You know the story, right? And you know how it ended. And he just, that scared him, to see a guy just like pop up in front of him. It scared him, it startled him. And now that I know the full story from him explaining it, it really like lifts up that, what did Necessity just do? And it's just like, oh, okay, now we get it, that he was going through that emotion and all of those things. But, and the funny part is that I didn't know that Necessity is a hilarious dude, like, because the interviews that I've had, like I've seen him in before, like he's really shy, as he says like he's an introvert, and he growing up he was really like that dude that was really shy and couldn't like really express himself and put himself out there. But really now you just realize that he actually is someone that is really hilarious when you know him. And that's what he says as well. It's like a lot of people just like listen to what I put out there, they see what I do on the internet, and they don't really like get to know who Nsiga Nsizwe is, and really like, connect with him and all of those things. Also, just apologies for Durban fans of Nasty C. Nasty C put out an apology, apologizing for the fact that they couldn't perform with Casper Nyovest on their African Throne. As you know, they are touring, and they're going around performing. They're supposed to perform in Durban, but because of the rain, Durban, man, like Durban really be having rains, and and hailstorms, and tornadoes, and a whole lot of things happens in Durban. It really happens in KZN at large, to just like put the entire province, because like it's not specifically in Durban. Sometimes it's like everywhere, somewhere else, somewhere, in a place in KZN, and we need to pray for KZN. But really, yeah, he says, his mixes got damaged, and really there wasn't really anything they could really like now do it, because the equipment wasn't working anymore, so they couldn't really like put out a show. I don't know whether they were supposed to put acapellas, because a lot of people were still mad about it. They felt like they were betrayed or anything like that. But it's really not on him, really. It's the weather, and all of those things. But I just wanted to circulate that again, and just like put it out there, for all the people from KZN to know that it was not really Ntja'ka's fault. Nice to see. And then he dived in on the affair, Semi Heavens and him. It's really not an affair right now. I think she deserves to be called a fiance, A-Reece, Ness's fiance. And oh man, it's a beautiful story. It's a beautiful love story. They met in primary and grade 7, and it didn't work out. And later in high school they rekindled, and they didn't really rekindle, because at the first time my guy didn't get the chance, but in high school he got the chance. And I also just want to speak about the record that he spoke about. There's a record that he was supposed to have with AKA, and and all these big guns. I think was it called Real? I don't remember the full name, but he was supposed to have a track with AKA, and a lot of other people that were really giants. I think did he mention, I think Mags or anything like that. But yeah, he says he was cut out of that because he wasn't performing, or he was not at his best. He was a new person. Like really, it was those days where he was still like an upcoming artist, when I got my mother juice back, those days, oh hell no days. And and they just were like, okay, let me bring him in, let us cook with him, and everything like that. He was just the dude from Pride City. Pride City, yeah. Those that listen to Necessity from the old days, they know Pride City. But yeah, so now he really didn't like pull up and become the person that he could, that he is right now, or anything like that. And yeah, so he was omitted. And I guess let me get to the point. The point is, at some point in time, like, you're gonna feel like you're not there, or you're gonna feel like it's not happening, it's not working out, right? But just know that it's not really just your time right now. It's nothing big, it's nothing major. If you really if you really keep cooking, if you really stay on your art, if you really keep on pushing, like, eventually it will work. And it was a beautiful thing, and congratulations to him. Of course, he has a son. I think it's Oliver. I don't know whether Sammy was just fooling around. I think she said it's Oliver Tambo. I don't know why she say that. Yeah, why did she say that? Is that the real name? But yeah, I think that's what she said in a comment section, where they asked her what's the name of the child. But yeah, the name is I think the name, I'm pretty sure the name is Oliver, unless I am wrong, which I stand to be corrected, because I am someone that likes telling the truth. And if I'm wrong, and if I'm not telling the name, I'm not really telling the truth, I stand corrected. I really do stay corrected. But the name really is Oliver. Yeah, I always check my facts on the spot to make sure that I'm not taken out of content. But yeah, Necessary also reached higher numbers, and in his career, and he's really, really doing amazing. When did he get nominated for BET? I think he has been nominated for BET, and is overdue right now for a Grammy Award. He was nominated in 2021, I think in 2022 as well. It's about time that he actually like gets nominated for an award in the Grammys. And he said that if he was put in the same room with J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, Jay-Z, Eminem. He would not back down. That's what he said. He said, you know what? I would never back down. I wouldn't back down. I would be putting out my best fight, and they would feel my heat. They would feel my wrath. And I feel like, man, telling the truth, man, Narcissist's music really does compete. As you know, we've had 50 Cents bumping it. We've had T.I. riding on the wave. We've had a lot of people that really did celebrate. And he also said that in SA right now, he doesn't think there is anyone that really can, scare him, if I put it in short. And, and people just clip that part where he says he's just the best, and now you say that he's the best, which is true. I don't know which rapper has done it the way Necessity did it, and I'm not trying to disrespect the pioneers, which is KO aka Casper. They've been in the game and they've been doing amazing. About L-Tido, Kid X, and all of this, the likes of those people, but currently Necessity really outsmarts and outclasses all the music that we have in the hip hop sector in South Africa right now. But yeah, I feel like I've been giving Necessity his flowers, a lot of them, but let me give flowers to Priddy and Maglera Doughboy. If you don't know, Maglera Doughboy is one of my favorite artists, aside from all that I've said about everyone. You have your favorite artist, but who's ruling. And we know Necessity, man, without a doubt. Necessity, we really know that he is that guy who he is. But yeah, there's a track by Maglera Doughboy with Priddy. The name of the track is Ntja'ka, which translates to my dog, in English. But yeah, it's just my dog with the DAWG. That means friendship. And for me, I feel like it's a classic, man. It reminds me of Makazana. It's like a combination of Makazana and Lotinova Pound song, Soshplata. It's that kind of cool vibe. If we were allowed to play and preview music here in the podcast, I'd do that. But it really is that kind of song, and I really do like it. And I really feel like Priddy is slowly, tagging the right people that are gonna really get him exposure. And that's not to say that he's not a really good artist. He really is, but it's just he doesn't have that much traction. That's why I just dive straight and say, he will be getting that traction right now. And Maglera Doughboy and him are that combination. As you know, we've spoken about the combo of him on 018 with Casper, and we did say that he really does need a track that is just made in a way and produced in a way that really will support who the kind of rapper he is. And Maglera Doughboy, I don't want to lie, Maglera Doughboy is someone I really love. I don't mind listening to Maglera Doughboy the whole day. There's so many things that he says that I feel like they are flowing at the same time. I'm bars on bars, man, bars on bars. I love Maglera Doughboy, without a doubt. I love Maglera Doughboy. I think from Pretoria, for me, Maglera Doughboy is the number one person that I really mess with. Latino Pounds, I've only had such platter, so I'm just waiting for the other tracks, to make sure that I can listen to him without skipping any track. But for now, for me, every track, I know Maglera Doughboy, if you give him the verse, he's gonna make that song his, without a doubt. I think that's what they said about the Never Ride. I think there was a track, there was a Never Ride that had Maglera Doughboy by Mesh Beats. Yeah, but it was never the same after they brought the other people and all the other features. The various artists that came through in that song, whatever it was. Yeah, that's those people. Who came through. I don't want to name songs, but yeah, there was a Never Ride by Tattoo Soul, Maglera Doughboy, and Mash Beats. If you want to listen to it, if you want to check it out, you can go ahead and check it out. It was an amazing one. I loved it fully. Don't want to lie. Congratulations to Inkabi Records. I'll be remembering these things as I talk. Inkabi Records I just saw a new post by Lwah Ndlunkulu, whereby she posted the fact that they've gotten a Mercedes. I think it's a V class. These things. For the first time when I saw a Polo, I was like, everything else that follows is a Polo. So, or just like when I saw a GTA for the first time, like everything else that came afterwards was. It's just a GTI. I don't care what it was, Apollo, what, the numbers and everything, I've forgotten. But yeah, they had a Mercedes Benz. We'll call it, for the sake of this podcast, a Mercedes Benz V Class. And it was beautiful. It was a beautiful moment. Lwah Ndlunkulu, Inkabi Records, congratulations. We really are proud of the strides that you're making. It's been deserved, and everything like that. I just hope that at some point, they never split, because people do so well together to the point that they don't split, which is another thing that Ndlovu spoke about with when it came to this girl. There's this girl that that if you send me Rolene, my favorite. I used to love Rolene. I still love her. That's my queen right there from Cape Town. Rolene, that sent me away. Who was signed to Necessity's record. And they had to go their separate ways, because he feels like she was to a paraphrased sense, she was demanding that push me, you promised me that you push me, without pushing herself as well to the level of being accepted by everyone else. So demanding a lot. It's kind of the same thing that Casper Nyovest spoke about when he spoke about Ntja'ka and why they had this split. So it feels like at some point, like, these artists, they see what you're doing, they feel like you're just doing your thing, man, and you're not putting me on. Like, what are you doing? Bring me on and put me on also. Like, I need to also, like, be good, as well. But yeah, it's said that they had to split, because I feel like Rolene and Necessity are really good together. They make classics, in terms of music, because you guys do take things out of context. You say, I said they're really good, and now you're gonna send to Semi Heaven, and Semi Heavens will be knocking me out. I love Semi, man. Like, I really loved Semi, and for me, Necessity and Semi are really like the perfect couple. They are like, the Will Smith, they are like the Jada Pinkett and Will Smith that was there before we had the one that we have right now. There were those ones that we had before. But I really do enjoy seeing people who really love each other together. And speaking of people that love each other, yeah, having that hook of radio, Hungani Ndlovu returned, and Mapitsi and Tigos are about to reunite again. People really are mad. They're like, oh man, again is now Hungani Ndlovu coming back to actually be taking Glenda, because Kwaito is in trouble right now. He is battling the return of Glenda, and the fact that he has to marry that girl, the doctor, and now it's a whole thing, and everything like that. But yeah, so yeah, he's back on Skeem Saam. You can go ahead and check it out. Skeem Saam SAPC 1. Go ahead and check it out. What time does Skeem Saam play? I'm really not really sure about the exact time they play, but the last time I checked it was 6. Is it still at 6? When does Skeem Saam play? That's how that's the question right now. That's the real question. I think a lot of people actually know. It's 6, still 6, 6:30 to 7, still the same, Monday to Friday. Go ahead and check out Skeem Saam. And yeah, Hungani Ndlovu is back, probably to help with that thing, that whole confusion, that whole baby mama and mama. I don't know if there's any baby mama, but one of them is about to be baby mama. But Mantuli and Priddy are really like teaching people how family really is, and it's crazy. But yeah, the new wave of Christian content, that is one thing that I wanted to dive in. Have you guys realized how we are actually having this, this whole like new Christian content that people are suddenly taking interest in because it has a lot of views. We have people which I feel like at some point if I explain more I'll put myself in trouble. But we have these people making videos how to be closer to God, how to, and then when you're looking to the picture at the person's picture and their YouTube and whatever they have on their internet and everything like that, you're like, wait, what? What are you for real? Are you really for real? And I don't see it. I don't see it in your actions. I don't see the connection. But I think people have realized that now everyone just wants to watch Christian content, and they are misusing that to mislead a lot of people. I've seen, heck, one of your favorite TikTokers, I won't say the name to protect her, but she really doesn't need to be protected. But she did make a video whereby now she's saying, "Oh, I don't pray like this. Oh, when I read this scripture, I scratch it out because it doesn't work for me." I'm like, oh man, you're misleading people. And even if you say, okay, you're not misleading them, you're opening a portal because you're actually encouraging these people that are doing badly to now use your content as a reason why they should be doing things like that. And really, the fire and the thunder that is coming your way is going to be really, 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 really big. It really is going to be big. And Aish, aish, aish. I just am moved when it comes to that topic and everything like that because I am a believer and everything like that. But man, let's just leave it. It's a new wave that is circulating around, and let's see where it goes. We'll see afterwards where it goes and everything like that. But yeah, I think that is what I had for today. Just basically those stories. I try my best to stay away from any controversy because I do not want to be there. I just want to spread some positivity. But yeah, definitely looking forward to the growth of Necessity, the growth of the L-Tido podcast, the comeback of A-Reece, and if that TikToker is right, let's hope something can be done. Oh, and also Super Mesh, he's doing amazing. This new kid that is making waves. I just watched a podcast with Yanda, Woods, Seemah, and Zillewizzy on MacG's podcast. It was an amazing one. Go ahead and check out the Super Mesh episode. There's this 11-year-old kid, and she's making moves. She's really he is making moves before I give someone a gender which they're not, and we know how that goes down these days. But yes, yeah. Definitely check out Super Mesh. He is 11 years old. He has written a book, and he's saying that he is inspiring kids, to follow their dreams and their paths, and to become the best out of to take out the best out of themselves, and to actually think about it, man. These new kids are really doing a lot. Like when you're looking at the 90s, you're like, really, guys, are you okay? Are you feeling the pressure? Is the pressure getting worse or anything like that? But it's also beautiful to see people becoming independent, because I feel like we really should reach a point where we're really trying to really make use of the internet and the internet wave, to just become really better and good people, right now. And I've been trying to do that as well, like with TikTok and all of those things, but it's not related to my podcast. It's just like normal general stuff and content that I make out there, and just really trying to gain some traction and build my brand around TikTok and all of those things. But it's really like, if you can teach yourself to do that, you'll never go hungry again. Because I've been in a point whereby I've worked, and I realized that working, man, it's just, you're really like, it's like you're holding on to this IV. For those that don't know what an IV is it? Yeah, it's an IV. Is it an IV or a UV? It's an IV. What an IV is, it's basically like you're having this intravenous line. It's like a drip, right? And it's like you're living through that drip. Like anyone can just like take it off and you can die. So anyone can just rip away that salary paycheck, and now you don't have anything to stand on. And whoever comes back after you has to go through the same process as you, applying for a job, looking for jobs and everything like that. So it's like you're prolonging your stand to the next generation. Like you're prolonging that financial independence and everything like that. And if there's no hurt in trying, like we really need to try, because even if you look at the biggest people, like that are earning big checks, working for big companies, at some point they quit and try to build something of their own. Probably some even have to reach retirement and they realize that they've been given a package now, a retirement package, and now they're going to start from scratch to try and figure out this business. But if you can figure it out right now and then utilize whatever you can make right now to build on long term and what you can have long term, then do it. And so, I just want to highlight Supermesh. Go ahead and check out the podcast that he has, the episode he has with the Bantwizes. They call them the Bantwizes. That is Seemah, Zillewizzy, and Yanda. Go ahead and check it out on the podcast, MacG podcast. And yeah, without further ado, that is the end of today's episode, and I really did enjoy having you here and sitting down with you. Hopefully there's gonna be a chance for us to meet again. That is if you subscribe and follow the podcast, depending on where you're listening from. I really am grateful, and I really appreciate everyone. And this is an inclusive podcast. Everyone is welcome here. We're a big family, feel full of love. And if ever you wanna identify as someone in this podcast, just identify as someone that really is out there to show some love and positivity to the world. And with that, I just want to wish you a great week ahead of you, and may you have a glorious one. May you have so many blessings, and may you achieve all of your milestones that you have. And when we come next weekend, we will celebrate some of the milestones that you've achieved this week. To anyone that is expecting to get something this week, you're getting it. To anyone that has plans for this week, you're gonna work out. To anyone that is in doubt, it's gonna clear out. You're gonna be good, and we believe in you. Without anything further, please take good care of yourself.